there, folks. Welcome back to Rule of Thumb. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, I know. But we've had a very busy month. We, as you know, or most of you know, we moved into a new house. Immediately following the move, we had some renovations done on the house. Then we had to get unpacked. We had family here for Passover. My mom was here for about a month. I had my aunt and her children here for a few days on a couple occasions. So we've been very, very busy. We have finally, this weekend is the first weekend we have nothing on our plates. This is Memorial Day weekend. And I decided I needed to do some canning because as we were preparing for the move, we used a lot of the stock that we had because moving full jars of food is not the easiest thing to do, even if it is a local move. So we did go through a lot of our back stock. I now have a lot of empty jars that need to be filled. So I thought I'd bring you folks along today. I'm going to do something super simple, super easy. There really is nothing to it, but I thought I'd bring you along, if nothing else, just to say hi, show you what I'm doing, let you know what's going on. Today, we're going to can potatoes. Now, in the past, I've always bought either baby red potatoes or the white skin potatoes, cut them up into cubes, and put them in the jars and can them. This time, I bought the white skin potatoes. I found a good sale on them. And instead of cutting them into cubes, I cut them into wedges. And my thought process behind this is, we both like oven roasted potato wedges. And I thought, well, if I already had them in the wedges, it's as simple as taking them out of the jar, putting a little olive oil on them, seasoning them up, and throwing them in the oven. But I still have the flexibility of cutting them up and using them for other things. So that's why I decided to do wedges this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything together. I'm going to reposition you because I'm still learning the camera angles of this kitchen. And show you what I'm doing. Like I said, it's super simple. It's potatoes. Potatoes in water, in the canner, nothing to it. But I'm going to bring you along and show you what I'm doing. Okay, folks, I'm back. So we're going to try this angle out first. Like I said, still kind of learning the angles as we go here. So I thought we'll try this one first and see how it works. So I got 7 jars, which is what fits in my canner. Washed and cleaned with super hot, super soapy water, and ready to be filled. I got really clean hands. What I got here is a big pink bowl full of potatoes, so you can see those. This is a Tupperware bowl, a 59 cup, I think, 59 cups, something like that. I got this from Angie at Angie's Pantry. She's my Tupperware lady. I'll try and put a link in here to her channel for you if you want to go check her out. She's amazing and knows everything you need to know about Tupperware, and if you want any, she can get you hooked up. She also has great videos on her channel, canning, cooking, you name it, it's all on there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these potatoes. You can see I've got wedges here, and I'm going to just take a jar and I'm simply going to start laying these wedges in the jar and see how this works out. Like I said, I haven't done the wedges before, but I thought it would be something interesting to try. Let's see how I think it turns out. So I got long and short ones here. Don't mind the noise in the background, that's just Josh. So I got pretty much full of long ones, so can you see that? Okay. Now, I do have some shorter ones that I think I can stick in here on the top, just like that. So that's what I'm going to do for a jar. You know, some people would say, oh, there's a lot of space in there, but you know, I know that this would be enough for Josh and I for a meal, so it's the perfect amount for us. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these filled with potatoes, and then I will bring you back and show you what the next step is. Alright folks, welcome back. So you can see I have jars full of potatoes here now. What you hear in the background is my hot water kettle boiling some water for me. I've decided I put garlic in everything. I absolutely love garlic. So what I'm going to do is give these a little garlic boost just to start off with. So I'm going to use some granulated garlic, and I'm going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon in each jar, just so that it gets a little head start on the garlicness that I love. I know I've seen other people can the potatoes with onion soup mix in them, which I think would be delicious. You could, some people put salt in their potatoes. I never salt anything that I'm canning because I prefer to salt it afterwards. But you could put salt in here if you want. You could put pepper in here if you want. You could do any number of herbs that you think would go with your potatoes. Just remember, there is a difference between fresh and dried, so you want to make sure you do your research on which ones you want to use in which situation and how much you want to use. So, I'm going to stick with garlic, and what I'm going to do is take my boiling water and fill up my jar to 1 inch of headspace. It's going to take a couple of these pots, I'm sure. So we'll fill this one or finish this one first, and I'll show you what I'm going to do while the next one is heating up. So like I said, this is a pretty simple canning session, nothing too difficult to this. You know, I'm not really showing you anything you can't see anywhere else, but you know me, I like to show you when I have the opportunity. And the other thing to consider here is, you know, if you don't think wedges work for you, do cubes. You know, do what works for you. I always tell you the rule of thumb is to do what is going to work best for your situation, and this is no different. You want to do what you think is going to be the best application for you when you go to use them. And that's what you want to consider anytime you're canning is, how am I going to use this product when I take it out of the jar? So, now we have water in here. These are packed super tight, but you still want to try and get your debubbler down in there just in case there is, you know, something lurking. You know, you don't want an air bubble if you can avoid it. So, now you can see I dislodged a couple potatoes here. That is the tricky part to potatoes. Now I have fingers that are like asbestos, so the boiling hot water doesn't matter to my fingers. If you don't have that, then you want to be careful when you're sticking your fingers in there. Now another method that you can use is to just tap the jars, and some people say that that will knock the air bubbles out of them. I don't know, but in a situation like this where you have everything packed pretty tightly in there, it is difficult to get your wand down in there. So you just want to do the best that you can to be as certain as you can be that you got the air bubbles out of the jar. And all that's going to do is give you a better looking product and a better finished product at the end, because you will not lose the headspace that you worked so hard to get. So that's what you're shooting for. As you can see, I'm just kind of working my way around these jars here, and then if anything floated up above the surface of the water, kind of tucking that back down in there, because you do want to get everything. This one is just not going to stay in there, so we're going to add that back to our bowl of potatoes. You want everything to be submerged under the water. Now the reason why I'm using hot water is because I had room temperature potatoes. I just had them in the big pink bowl with a little water with lemon juice in it to keep them from browning, but they're at room temperature. I do have my canner over here on the stove. It's heating up just to get it warm. So we're going to have basically warm-ish jars going into a warm canner. We're going to bring it up to temperature slowly, and that kind of allows us to be sure that we're not going to have any breakage in our jars, and we get the best quality canned product that we can get. So we're going to go ahead and add some water into these. Usually I make quite a mess doing this, so I'm pretty impressed right now that I have not spilled more of this water. And we'll top off these ones that we've already debubbled. But yeah, I'm really good at spilling the water all over the place. That seems to be my God-given talent when it comes to pouring. I don't know why. You would think somebody that has worked in the food business as long as I have would have that skill mastered, but the reality is I do not. So, I'm going to go ahead and get these last few debubbled. Get our potatoes pushed back down in there. And it really is kind of just a little bit of patience with this. You know, it's when you're dealing with solid, chunky food like this, you're fighting a kind of an uphill battle. So you just want to take your time and kind of work your way through it, get everything where you want it to be. And we'll see if these need a little top up here, a little bit there, there, a little bit there. Alright, so now I have some paper towel here, and I've got a little vinegar in my bowl here. Just want to be sure, because the potatoes are starchy, try and make sure that we don't have any starch on the lids, because that could affect our seal. So, I mean, it's not dire, but wherever we can try and avoid any issues, we shall. I'm going to get my lids on the air. Alright. Come on, cooperate with me. And we're going to take a ring. Am I on a jar you can see? Yes. And we're just going to go fingertip tight, so just to that point. And then we're going to take this jar, get it in our canner. I'm going to go ahead and get the rings on the rest of these jars, and then I will bring you folks back when I'm ready to get the canner going. Okay folks, so we got all 7 jars in the canner, and now we're going to go ahead and get our lid on here. And maybe. It's my first time using this canner. This is a canner that I picked up used. And I replaced the seals and everything on it. I have a new weight for it. And we're going to give it a shot. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the temperature up. I'm going to just go to medium because I have one of those power burners. So I'm going to slowly bring this pressure up. I'm going to wait for it to vent for 10 minutes. We want a steady stream of steam to come out of here for 10 minutes. Then we're going to get, for my area, I have a 10-pound weight. We're going to put a 10-pound weight on it, and we're going to can these potatoes for 40 minutes for quarts. It's 35 minutes for pints. And I will bring you back when we get to the end and show you what they look like. Well folks, here we are, finished result. We got 7 quarts of potato wedges. I think they came out fantastic. Let me bring one up here a little closer for you guys. Can you see that? They look great. The kitchen smells like garlicky potatoes. It's pretty fantastic. So I'm pretty happy with these. I will definitely bring you back when I use these in a recipe, so we can see what the consistency is like together and how they turn out in the oven. So, like I said, simple, easy video today. Canning potatoes. I'm going to put another batch in. But I just wanted to bring you folks along. I got a bunch of projects coming up. Definitely a lot of canning. I want to get some cooking videos together for you guys. Definitely some more cookbook corners. So, with that, I'm going to let you go today. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a great day. Come back and see us soon.